Hi everyone, welcome to our masterclass today on emotional mastery. Now, you may have found this masterclass through word of mouth. Maybe a friend told you about it. Maybe you saw an advertisement online. Maybe you stumbled upon this through Mindvalley. But the topic today is a topic that is so absolutely fascinating. Recently, I had the pleasure of interviewing Harvard's most famous professor, Tal Ben-Shahar. So Professor Ben-Shahar, he teaches one of the most popular classes on Harvard. And I asked him a really important question. I said, what are a couple of things that you know that modern education absolutely forgets to teach us? And one of the things was emotional mastery. Think about it. We are the subject of our emotions. Every object you buy, every victory you have, every promotion, the hustle, the work, your output, all happens because you are chasing an emotion. That emotion may be bliss. That emotion may be a feeling of happiness. That emotion may be love or compassion. But as we are chasing emotions, we're also running away from emotions. And that is where the problem happens. Tal Ben-Shahar, when I asked him this question in front of our Mindvalley audience, he said, I want you to read this poem by Rumi. May I read that poem for you? Because I think when you read this poem, you will understand what we mean by emotional mastery. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And therein lies a powerful lesson on emotional mastery, written 700 years ago by the sage poet Rumi. So why is emotional mastery so important right now? Well, when I spoke to our guest, Jennifer Partridge, and I asked her this question, this is what she said. She said, look, your emotions have a direct influence on your vitality, your immunity, your physical health. All of these are more at risk right now than ever before. And not only that, but we're in a very unique aspect of the world right now. Some of us might be in a lockdown. Some of us might be going through disruption in our life. Our way of living may never go back to where it was before. And our ability to deal with our emotions can not only help us still live joyously while processing the uninvited guest, but it also has a direct effect in helping us stay healthy and heal. Emotional mastery has never been a more important subject. So firstly, pat yourself on the back for showing up today. Good decision. Now, a couple other things about Jennifer that I really think are important for you to know. Jennifer's been featured in multiple episodes of Gaia TV series Transcendence and The Voice. Thousands of people enroll in her tapping school, Dream Awake. She's launched her new book, Dream Awake, on a world tour around Colombia with the legendary spiritual teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz. Her charm and the way she lights up a room was the reason why she was selected to host Birth 2012, which was a huge online event featuring luminaries like Michael Beckwith, Jack Canfield, and she's even been in a tour with Deepak Chopra in Costa Rica. Now, what are you going to learn today? Well, rather than tell you, let me show you. All of these are incredible results of people who have studied with Jennifer. And you can read all of this on Mindvalley's case study engine, stories.mindvalley.com. Just go to stories.mindvalley.com and select Jennifer's program on tapping. Just look at what students are saying.
Before tapping, I was having a really hard time connecting with people.
When my father left when I was 12, I felt abandoned. And so I was recreating the abandonment, but by leaving first, he couldn't leave me. I was leaving, but there was still abandonment being triggered. and I just didn't know how to get through to the other side.
My fiance had passed away, and I thought I had dealt with it in every conventional way that was available. I thought I was fixed. Turned out I wasn't.
I remember having an epiphany during that tap of being a 3-year-old little girl and thinking that I would never be able to afford my dreams. It's allowing me to continue to break through the layers of the blocks that I've been having within.
She gave me this tool that allowed me to rewire my programming of what death meant, how to let go, how to truly, truly heal, and how to transform that into something that would be a powerful catalyst in my life that would propel me further.
And by doing the tapping, I realized that circumstances that I thought were obstacles or painful emotions that I thought were keeping me from my life purpose were actually gifts to give me more clarity.
Through tapping, it's given me the chance to really allow myself, my inner self, to really come out and flourish as a whole, not just as someone that's been hiding behind some kind of mask in the past.
My relationship with my husband's completely changed.
This is some powerful stuff.
Before we begin, I need you to do a simple exercise that's going to help you learn and retain the information over here. Let me explain. There was a study done that showed that when you're about to go through a deep learning, it helps if you make a simple commitment to yourself. So I want you to simply take your hand, place it on your heart, and repeat after me. I commit to going all in, to taking notes, to applying what I'm learning, to taking action, because this is transformational wisdom, and it can likely change my life. Did you get that? Awesome. Thank you. Now make sure you turn off any distraction. Look, there's always be a time for you to check your messages or to look at your latest notifications on Facebook, but what you're going to learn in the next hour with us will give you a gift that will stay with you for the rest of your life. You've heard the case studies, you know how powerful this is, but to fully experience this, because you're going to be going through an experience with Jennifer, you need total attention. And so any distraction, let's park that aside for a moment. Are you with me? Awesome. Let's continue. Before I bring on Jennifer, Jennifer asked me to have you do a self-check-in on these 4 items. What this means is I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being poor, 5 being excellent, okay? Whatever is the first response that comes is the most accurate one. It's coming from your intuition. Now, the first question is, how much control do you feel you have over your emotions? 1 meaning poor, 5 meaning excellent. Give yourself a score. Number 2, how much compassion do you have for yourself? Another word might be self-love. 1 being 1, 5 being excellent. Give yourself a score. Number 3, how do you cope with the memory of past trauma? Maybe you're abused. Maybe you went through some really awful experiences years ago that still hurts you when you think about it. Give yourself a score from 1 to 5. 5 meaning you've excellently processed that, gone beyond it. No longer even hurts you, no longer shows up in your life. 1 means it plagues you. It's a consistent issue in your life right now. The final question is simple. How much do you trust yourself? Jennifer said that the degree in which we trust ourselves has to do with the degree and the amount of positive thoughts we have about ourselves. So if you have negative self-talk, if there's something about yourself that you are resisting or pushing away, you won't trust yourself as much. So rate yourself again on how much do you trust yourself. 1 being poor, 5 being excellent. And now we're ready to begin. Please give a warm, massive welcome for the one and only Jennifer Partridge.
Yay! Hi, Vishen. So nice to be here with you today. Thank you for such a beautiful welcome.
Jennifer, thank you. Just having you in the room completely lights me up. You've got that gift on people.
I feel the same about you.
So let's get started. Let's start with your story.
First of all, I just want to thank you so much, Vishen, for just such a warm welcome and bringing me into this beautiful family and singing my praises. And I just feel so much love for you, and I'm so grateful to be able to share today. And what's really important for me that I really want everyone to understand is that, like, yes, I've done all these things, but the truth is I would not be here if I hadn't moved through so much pain and trauma that I had from earlier on in my life. And some of the things that I was avoiding or numbing out had to really be looked at. And when I was about 23, I was suffering from severe anxiety attacks, and my heart would palpitate in the smallest of situations. And then I would notice myself having nightmares at night where I would actually get up out of my bed and I would smash the window above my bed, and there was like blood running down my arms. And this didn't just happen once, it happened multiple times. Like I was trying to escape in the middle of the night. And I had no idea why that was happening. Like I was just like, why am I having these weird nightmares? And I stumbled upon tapping after like looking everywhere. I studied Reiki, I studied energy healing, chakra balancing, yoga, meditation. I just like studied so much because like, what is going on with me? And it was so powerful because when I discovered tapping, I had like all of these memories that I had numbed out that were like from my early childhood sexual abuse that I was carrying with me that I wasn't even looking at, I didn't even know existed. And when I allowed myself to look at them, I was finally able to bring love to them. And I realized that all of these numbing mechanisms that I had and like that the world has, whether that be like scrolling through social media or drugs or alcohol or food, and all of these things that we do to avoid our emotions, was actually disempowering me. And tapping came into my life and I started working with the method, and very, very quickly I started to see all of these memories be healed and a deeper level of safety and trust in my body come through, which I had never felt because the trauma happened so long ago. And I was so grateful for it that it really became my life's work because I saw how much I changed. And I realized like, I am here to share this with the world because I found something that was so potent, so powerful for me. And I know that there's so many people that are dealing with similar types of struggles. Some may remember their memories, some may not, but the world is struggling with emotional overwhelm, and having the opportunity to help others see what I learned and help them along their way is such a beautiful offering for me. And I'm just so grateful that I get to share it.
Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably. And what I appreciate about you is that you showed the other side, the journey through the shadow that got you to where you were. And maybe some of you listening might relate. Maybe some of you listening are going through a similar situation in your life. You're about to see why tapping is so powerful. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions. I see all of these incredible videos of people whose lives are transformed when they attend your seminars. Obviously, there's more to tapping. What does it look like when we go through a full tapping training with you? What does that look like? And what would that bring into our lives?
When you start to go deeper with the method of tapping, you will not only start to really tap into deeper levels of resource and power and confidence in your life, you will also start to become aware of what's triggering you, what's going on in your life, and what it's truly connected to. Because so much of the time we get triggered by others and we think that we're the victim or that it's their fault, but it'll start to really flip your perspective on reality, and you actually start to master your response to people and the world around you. And I've noticed that in my own life, in my relationships, like if I get triggered, I have a tool now that I can actually go in. Oh, it actually has something to do with my father, and it's not really my partner. And you'll be able to work through all the layers and reset them so that you can show up in a deeper place of peace and joy for yourself and for the world around you.
I love that. And that's where the mastery comes in. You give people, when they go deeper into the training, a sequence of tools that leads them to not just master their present state emotions, but to heal shadows and abuse and things that have happened in the past that might be impacting you now. So you go way beyond just using tapping to fix an emotion. And in fact, that's what I initially thought tapping was about. I thought it was going from sadness to bliss. It was just fixing emotions. What I understand now is that it is really a way of up-leveling your entire life in multiple dimensions.
Absolutely. And that's the real gift of it, because earlier on in my life, when I was really trying to deal with my emotions, I would do a lot of methods that would bring me peace, but the emotional patterns would continually repeat. And it wasn't until I discovered tapping that I was actually able to go to the root. Oh, this memory is really creating this. And when I'm able to heal it from the root, the emotional responses and the reactivity just disappear, so they don't repeat themselves over and over in my life with other relationships and other situations. I'm actually able to change it permanently.
So what are some of the situations one could use tapping in?
Well, I've worked with so many different types of cases for tapping, from everything from really clearing out childhood trauma to becoming more self-empowered, all the way into high performance. And so it can cover topics such as your financial security, ability to really be courageous to take risks in your life, all the way into relationship patterns. Relationships is a huge piece because we're constantly in relationships all the time. I had a girl that I was working with for a really long time on many different things, but she was able to actually transform her whole relationship with her husband, where many a times she actually felt like leaving. And by doing the inner work, she was actually able to see that it wasn't the relationship that was causing the challenge. It was all of her trauma that she had from seeing how her parents behaved. So bringing that into relationships. Also, self-love is a powerful piece to tap on as well. A lot of women that come into the circle, and even men, often work with self-doubt, not feeling good enough, procrastination, and holding their power back. And a lot of that also comes from childhood wounds. Perhaps they were laughed at school, or told that they weren't good enough, or that their needs didn't matter. And I have seen so many people really shift and be able to manifest their life purpose, to be able to create the things that they actually want, and not only do that, create the financial well-being to make it all happen. It also really helps with addiction. I have seen a lot of addiction come up where people are working with smoking and food, even higher drugs like heroin, and seeing a shift in them and what they're trying to get out of the substance, and actually being able to get what they're trying to get out of the substance through the tapping process. So they're getting the love that they really need, or they're getting the feeling of security, they're getting a feeling of being supported. And oftentimes when we do have those addictive patterns, and it could be small or big, that's what we're often looking for. So addictive patterns, also PTSD. A lot of PTSD from war veterans have come in that have had a high level of intense PTSD where they can't operate. They're having nightmares at night, and they're constantly having memories come up. And you can actually work through a lot of those memories like a fine-tooth comb and clear them out one by one. And so it really does work across the board, and you can start wherever you are. There's pretty much not one topic that you couldn't work on. If there's emotion in it, then you can heal it, because everything is fueled by emotion. So the sky really is the limit.
That's amazing. This is really like a Swiss Army knife to help you like unlock some of your greatest possibilities.
Absolutely, totally agree.
Before we go further, it's important as part of this masterclass that you open up your journal or your piece of paper, or even mentally, if you don't have a pen with you, make a note of why tapping is important to you. Why is mastering your emotions important to you, what would that shift in your life? I can tell you for me, I know that when I master my emotions, I know that I can do a better job as a speaker, as a leader. I can forgive people who have hurt me in the past and no longer have that hold me back. What would it be for you? Why is this important? Write that down. Thank you. Hold on to that piece of paper, because your why often determines your next step and the power at which you pursue a solution. So I'm so glad you wrote that down. Now, before we go further, I want to speak to some of you who may have doubts if this is going to work for you. And these doubts are very, very, very commonplace. One of the first doubts that people have, Jennifer, and I'd love for you to address this, is tapping seems so woo-woo. Like, is there science behind it? I know I refused to look at tapping for years because I couldn't believe that tapping yourself in some way was even real. Jennifer, what do you have to say about people who doubt the scientific validity of tapping?
Well, it's totally understandable because I think tapping has a little bit of a woo-woo vibe. You know, I'm tapping on my body and I'm breathing and then all of a sudden my life changes. Can seem a little crazy. But it does have a really beautiful blend of science as well. It brings in modern psychology, and it also talks about neuroplasticity as well, which is rewiring the brain through bringing love and acceptance to the fear-based patterns, which actually help you rewire the circuits in your brain. So not only are you working on the brain, you're also working on repatterning the physical body. And if you look into Chinese medicine, which is over 3,000 years old, you can learn a lot about the meridian systems and how we clear out trauma through tapping on specific points while we tap as well. So we can really go deep into the science. There's been amazing studies around it with PTSD and healing trauma. And you can really look it up online and find a lot there as well.
Yeah, and when I looked into the science is now astounding. For example, tapping is based on working with the meridian system, the body's energy system. At one point, people thought this was just Chinese philosophy. It's not. We now know it's real. In fact, I'm in Europe and you're in Costa Rica as we're recording this masterclass. Several countries in Europe, including France, now allow people to use their government insurance for acupuncture, for example, because the meridian lines, there's so much scientific backing on this right now. We know that the ancient Chinese philosophers knew something back then. So the science for tapping has become real.
And one of the things that they talk about in science right now, a study that they did, was they're actually noticing that the meridian lines, where the points are, where the acupuncture needles go, are actually linking into the nervous system as well, where the veins are, where they all clump together. And when there is a trauma, the nervous system gets overloaded and then it stores that memory in there. So initially everyone was like, where are the energy lines? And now they're actually showing through tests that the meridians are actually connected into the nervous system and into the physical body as well.
Now, the next thing is this. Some people are afraid to do tapping because they are concerned that really painful memories or emotions are going to come up, or bad memories from the past. You know, when I first heard your story, Jennifer, I was a little bit afraid about doing tapping because I was like, well, what if I tap and all of a sudden this painful memory that I would rather have forgotten emerges?
Absolutely, that's totally understandable. And I would say in our culture today, we are not taught to look at our emotions. We are taught to avoid them, put on a happy face, pretend everything's okay. So the thought of opening up Pandora's box is very scary. But once you actually start the method, you actually realize that every uncomfortable emotion and thought and memory is just calling for our love. And when we can hold enough love there, it will actually dissolve. And we also realize by not looking at the memory, it doesn't make it go away. Actually bringing love there will help it go away.
Amazing. And I think there's one more doubt that people have, and that is people doubt themselves. They doubt that they can heal themselves, that they can master their own emotions because they've been going through so much shit, for lack of a better word, for so long. How would you address this?
once again, I think it's totally understandable because there are so many methods out there. And myself, I went through so many. I became a teacher in many as well. And so it's easy to feel like giving up. But if you haven't tried tapping, it is really a simple technique. It's non-dogmatic. You can apply it to absolutely anything in your life. And really the proof is in the pudding. It's not about trying to convince you. It's about having an actual experience. And if you're willing to feel, because that's really what you have to be available to. If you're actually willing to feel it, then you can transform it. But if you're not willing to look at it, or you don't want to feel it, or you're trying to avoid it, then you're not going to heal. But if you can show up fully and say, I'm going to give myself permission to move it, to feel it, to acknowledge it, and to love it, it will transform.
Amazing. So for those of you who showed up today, you're about to walk away with a new level of hope and confidence in your future. Remember that quote I shared from the Harvard professor Tal Ben-Shahar when we started? I asked him what are some of the things that modern education forgot, and of the 5 things he mentioned, one of them was emotion, right? He put that among the 5 things. You're going to learn to master your emotions. Stay tuned. Jennifer, as we begin our teaching, what is the key idea, the key paradigm shift that you want our audience to understand today?
The most important thing that we all take away today is recognizing that we have power over our emotional reactions, that we have a conscious ability to rewire and shift our perspective in any moment, so that we can step out of being victim and feeling stuck and into a place of true empowerment and ability to manifest and create a life that we truly want through that emotional mastery.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was beautifully said. So now we're going to go into teaching you the 3-step process. Step 1 is going to be acknowledgement. Step 2 is going to be love and acceptance. Step 3 is going to be new visions. Jennifer, let's get started.
Awesome. So we're going to split this up into 3 parts. The first part that we are going to go over is the basic principles of tapping. As part of 1, we'll also discover an emotion that is coming up for us that we want to clear out today. Then we'll move into part number 2. As we do number 2, we'll do a whole tapping session to clear out that emotion. Then we'll move into part 3, which is establishing a practice that you can take with you out into the world no matter what emotion comes up. Okay, so let's begin with part 1. The basics of tapping. It is a blend of modern psychology, Chinese medicine, and neuroplasticity. So, Chinese medicine, over 3,000 years old, they have an understanding of the meridian system. These are the energy lines that run up and down the body, bringing prana or life force to the body. When there is a trauma, these energy lines get blocked. And the way you clear out the trauma is you either place an acupuncture needle on a specific point on these energy lines, you either press them in acupressure, or you tap them in tapping. So in tapping, we will be tapping on those points to clear out that stagnation, to clear out the overwhelm or any trauma that's stuck inside the energetic system. Then we move into modern psychology. So if you've ever been to a coach or a psychologist or someone that's been really helping you through a challenge, you may recognize a bit of a call and response. They might ask you what you're feeling, and you might speak out loud what your emotions are or what your thoughts are, or even talk about some of your memories. That's what we'll be doing in tapping as well. And then we get to leap into neuroplasticity, which is one of my favorite things to do, which is basically rewiring the brain. And what they've shown in science, when you are tapping and bringing love, empathy, and forgiveness to the fear-based thoughts and emotions, you actually are able to rewire the brain. And the way that happens is you basically have neural pathways that are hooked up in your brain that are shooting back and forth. They're telling you what to believe, how to behave, what habits to have. And then when you go into those negative or limiting habits and you apply love there, they show that the neurons start to really melt away and all the protein bonds release. And you can actually then rewire your brain to see reality differently and to be in a different way. So on a science level, that's what's happening in your brain while you're tapping. It's really powerful. And as you go through, you might start going through an off-gassing process because you're clearing at the speed of light, basically. So you might start yawning, burping, crying, hiccuping, shaking, and that is just the energy releasing itself from its system. And now let's learn where we're going to be tapping through the process. So I like to start underneath the collarbone right here. Some methods like to start on the hand, but this is a really great place to start because it is the emotional well. It's where we store a lot of our emotion. So when we start tapping, I'll have you tune into your emotion while massaging this part. Then we'll move to the center of the chest. And as we're tapping, you'll either be breathing or doing a call and response, speaking out loud what I am saying. All of these points that we tap on are also connected to these energetic lines, the meridians that we discussed earlier. So we're clearing out the emotional stagnation in these energy lines as we tap. Then we move between the brows, the temples, the cheeks, and let's take a long, deep breath in and release a big sigh together. This is a beautiful way to clear out the energy because as we breathe, we bring oxygen into the system and what many of the ancient cultures would call prana or life force. And this helps re-energize and heal the body. Tapping underneath the nose, underneath the lips, and then you move to the center of the chest and you can tap all the way around. There are meridians all over this area. So don't worry about missing the point. The point is so tiny that you won't miss it. Then we tap the front of the ribs, side of the ribs, and this would be in alignment with the nipple or the brow line. Great. And then we're going to tap the top of the head. We can go around the back of the head, the top of the head, side of the head. All of the meridians run all the way up. So if you've ever had a head massage, you might start to feel how your body gets super relaxed. And that's because all of the energy lines run up to the top of the head. Let's take another big, deep breath in and release a big sigh. Beautiful. So you're probably starting to feel a little bit relaxed already and we haven't even begun the process. And then you just continue to go around and do lots of rounds as you move through the process. So they are the tapping points. As we move into the next chapter, I'm going to help you understand what emotion you want to clean out of your life today and what it's been calling for and what do you want to change. So let's take a moment right now as you're closing your eyes and feeling into something that is challenging for you right now in your life. Perhaps you're having a struggle in a relationship or there's something happening at work that's overwhelming you. What is something that's going on in your life right now? And as you tune into that challenge, we're going to focus on the most intense emotion that is there for you. What do you feel about that? Do you feel scared? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel overwhelmed, lonely? What's coming up for you? What emotion is there around that challenge? Great. And now let's move into part 2, which is the tapping experience itself. So we're going to do a few rounds of what we call the basic tapping recipe, which is basically acknowledging the issue, bringing love and acceptance there and choosing a new vision. And we'll start to do loops of that process over and over until that emotion that you're carrying is actually cleared and you feel a deeper sense of peace and power. So let's begin massaging underneath the collarbone like I showed you, and feeling into that emotion right now and that challenge that has been coming up for you. And as you feel into that, we're going to move into step 1, which is acknowledging. And feel what that feels like, that challenge right now, and feel that main intense emotion. What is that emotion for you? Feel what that is. Is it stress, overwhelm, loneliness, sadness, anger? What is there? And then come to tapping the center of the chest and repeating after me. If the word isn't completely accurate to what you feel, go ahead and change the word to match your description. If you don't know what you feel, give my word a go and we'll see what happens. Great. Even though, repeating this, even though I have been feeling, and go ahead and tell me how you've been feeling. What's that really uncomfortable emotion that's been coming up? Tapping between the brows, about, tell me what it's about. What is the challenge we're acknowledging right now? Part of step 1. I love and deeply accept myself. Tapping the temples, even though I am feeling, tell me what that one limiting emotion is right now. Tapping the cheeks, about, tell me what it is. I love and deeply accept myself. Tapping underneath the nose, exactly as I am. Tapping underneath the lips, and even though part of me doesn't want to look at this, tapping the center of the chest, part of me just wishes it would fix itself. It's possible. It is calling for my love right now. Tapping the front of the ribs. This challenge, tell me what the challenge is. And remember, don't get so worried about the tapping points. Just tap wherever you can. You're gonna hit those points anyway. I love and deeply accept myself. Tapping the side of the ribs. And I can hold on to this emotion as long as I want to. Tapping the top of the head. Part of me doesn't want to let go of this emotion. Tapping between the brows. Part of me thinks I need it. Tune into the part of yourself that thinks you need that emotion. Perhaps it's to protect yourself, or to prove a point, or to make something happen, or to convince someone, or to punish someone, or to punish yourself. There's so many reasons why we might try to hold on to an emotion. What do you think you're holding that emotion onto for? Is there some type of protection that you are holding onto with it? Tapping the temples, part of me thinks I need to hold on to this emotion. To do what? Tell me what you think it's going to do for you. To tell me what your reason is, what your excuse is. And I don't have to let it go. Tapping underneath the nose, I can hold on to this for as long as I want to. Tapping underneath the lips. I never have to let go of, and tell me what that emotion is. Okay. Tapping the center of the chest. Part of me thinks I need it. but it's possible it's not serving me. Tapping the front of the ribs, it's possible what emotion, tell me what that is not serving me. Tapping the side of the ribs, it's possible it's making it worse. So tune into how when you allow that emotion, whether it's fear or anger or resentment or resistance or blame or shame or whatever that emotion is that you've been holding on to, see how that actually makes the situation worse. Tapping the top of the head. See how when you really own that situation and you really let that emotion take over, how it actually creates more of what you don't want. How it actually manifests the very thing you're trying to avoid. That emotion. And take a big deep breath into that right now and release a big sigh. Good. Tapping between the brows. It's possible it's not helping me. Tapping the temples. I really want to let this go. Tapping the cheeks. It's possible I'll feel better if I let go of, tell me what that emotion is for you. Good. Tapping underneath the nose, it's possible I'll be able to create, tell me what you'll be able to create if you let that go. And this is part of step 3 where we offer ourselves a new vision now. Tapping underneath the lips, it's possible I'll be able to create tapping the center of the chest, and that's what I really want. I really want, what do you want in your life? What do you want to create? I really want, tell me what that is for you. Tapping the front of the ribs, and it's not helping to keep processing what emotion. Tapping the side of the ribs. I'm ready to let it go now. Yes, you are. Tapping the top of the head. Remember, you can go all the way around, up and down, wherever you want. I'm ready to create now. Tell me what you're ready to create. Tapping between the brows. And if you let go of that emotion and you get the power to create the thing that you want because it's no longer held back, what is the new positive emotion that you will feel? Tapping the temples, it's possible that it might help you feel more peace or more capability or trust, love, joy, celebration. What would you feel if you got to really shift this now? And you got to choose a new way. Tapping the cheeks, it would make me feel, what would it make you feel? When I get to create, tell me what you get to create now. Tapping underneath the nose, and that is what I really want. Beautiful. And I can move forward now. Tapping underneath the lips, I'm moving forward with more power and clarity. Center of the chest, I'm moving forward with strength and resilience. These are all those new visions that we're bringing in as part of step 3 of that tapping recipe right now. Tapping the front of the ribs. What are you creating? I am creating. Tell me the most beautiful expression that you get to create now that you're choosing that empowered space, now that you're choosing peace, now that you're choosing clarity, now that you're choosing the love and the resilience. What do you get to create, and how beautiful does it get to be? Tapping the side of the ribs. Tell me out loud. I want you to describe it. And as you describe it out loud, I want you to feel how good it feels. I am. Tell me what you're now doing. Tapping the top of the head. I am. Describe what you get to do now. Yeah. Tapping between the brows, and it feels really. Tell me what it feels like. All of those good jujus. Tapping the temples. And what else? Another few positive things that you feel when you create that. And see how that creates more goodness, more prosperity, more alignment, more connection, more intimacy, more beauty, more power, more love, more celebration. Feel that right now, and feel how good that is in your body when you get to choose that new way. And now expand how good that feels in your body. What are the sensations in your physical body when you get to be in that new way? Does it feel light and bubbly, airy, sweet, soft? What's the texture in your body as you choose this new way of being? Tapping underneath the nose. It feels really. Tell me what it feels like. Tapping underneath the lips. It feels really. Oh, feel how good that feels in your body. Feel how grounded and rooted you are on the earth and the opening in your being. Feel all of that beauty, all of that goodness right now. Expand it by 75%. Like, wow, it feels so good. I'm on fire. I'm alive. It's perfect. Expand it by 100%. Hallelujah. Lean into all of that goodness right now. Feel it just flooding into your being, all of those happy, sweet sensations, and send them right now to anyone in your life that might be struggling. Send that energy to them right now, knowing that they also need that, and you're sending them that energy. Send it to any situation right now, anything that you're a part of, knowing that everyone is being blessed by this field of energy that you are bringing. And everyone is transforming because you are embodying that mastery. You are embodying that peace. Take a long, deep breath in and release a big sigh. Ah, beautiful. Now place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Close your eyes right now. Put a little smile on your face, because when you smile, it also produces all those happy hormones that we're looking for. So put a smile on your face. Feel the possibility of just bringing sweet, beautiful goodness into your life, into the thing that you chose at the beginning, that challenge that you were working on. And how do you feel about that challenge now? Has it shifted for you? Do you feel more aligned to your power now? Feel that just transforming in your life. So much gratitude for this practice to love yourself so deeply. Feel that space. Now take a long, deep breath in and release a big sigh. Wow, you did so beautifully. Thank you for being so courageous with honoring your emotions, listening to them, and allowing yourself to get the wisdom that they're sharing. here is something that you can take with you as you move through your life. If you ever feel and overwhelmed by any emotion, all you need to do is simply tap on your chest and go through a very simple 3-step process that we did already, which is, first of all, acknowledge out loud what you feel, even though I feel this, and then give it some love and acceptance. I love and accept myself, and just accept what you're feeling while tapping on your chest. And then after you have given it enough acceptance, you might just start to see the trigger get less and less. And when you feel a little bit more neutral around that emotion, choose something new for yourself. So then you might say out loud what you're choosing for yourself. I now choose to feel happy. I now choose to move forward with confidence. And you affirm what you're creating for yourself. So it's very simple. Tapping on your chest, acknowledging what you feel, give yourself some love and acceptance, choose a new reality. And that will take you out into your life and really work on transforming any emotion that arises. This is the basic principle.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was a beautiful experience. And as I did that whole routine, it helped me deal with a particular emotion I was feeling today. And so thank you so much for that. So tell us about the 28-day tapping quest that you've created with Mindvalley to guide our audience here through 28 days of complete self-mastery through the tools of tapping.
I'm super excited to be creating this quest with Mindvalley. It's a 28-day online course that will allow you to clear out any emotional baggage that is holding you back so that you can step into your full emotional mastery. And the way that we help you through that is we map it out into 7 different levels. Each level will have a challenge for you, and that challenge will help embody that practice that you're doing in that level. Also, I'll be guiding you through morning soul taps so that you can create your own tapping practice for your life. By the end of the quest, you will not only have your own personal tapping practice, you'll also be able to share it with others in your life as well. And that's super exciting.
Jennifer, as you're saying that, I just want to actually show the program to people. So many of you might want to go deeper with tapping. You've gotten an understanding of how powerful this can be. You probably felt some results. What I want to encourage you is to go deeper. Tapping should be a toolkit that all of us use. You have your exercise routine, you have your meditation practice, you need a tapping routine because tapping, as you can see, works on areas of our body, mainly our meridian lines, our body energy, that we often ignore. Think about the amount of time you spend building your muscles in the gym. Think about the amount of time you might spend meditating and calming your mind. What are you doing with your energy body? And this is why people who practice tapping and go deeper into it, they show up in the world with a level of emotional mastery that awes most people. They walk into a room, and as I said, they light up the room. Every day, for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, you get a lesson. Every day for 28 days. But these lessons build up upon one another and transform you. The lessons are available on Apple TV, on our web, on an Android phone, on an iOS phone. It's a beautiful platform. And the best part is, you take these lessons with a group of other students. Classes start automatically every week. You join the class that you want to be part of. You're connected to other students, and Jennifer guides you through the 28-day transformation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Jennifer, tell them about the 7 levels.
Absolutely. The 7 levels are a powerful journey through your process with emotional mastery. Each level actually has a soul shift challenge, and the soul shift challenge is a physical activity that we ask you to do out in the world, which will help you embody the lessons that you learn in every level. Also, throughout the 28 days, I'll be showing you how to create your own morning soul tap practice. So after the whole 28 days, you'll have something that you can take with you as a tangible way to step into your mastery. Not only that, you will also have a a tool that you can help others with as well. So as we dive into level 1, it's all about the roots. It's all about the essentials. What is tapping? How does it work? What are some of the tools within tapping to give yourself a deep process? So you'll go through that first level, then you move to level 2. And this level is all about safety. Safety is one of the most important things in our life, whether we realize it or not, to heal trauma, but also to go for our dreams. If we don't feel safe, we lose our courage and we hold ourselves back. So really creating a foundation of safety as level 1. Then we move into level 2, which is about creating simplicity in your life. So we'll really be looking at your life and what's overwhelming you, what's not necessary in your life anymore, some of the challenges you'll go through, about simplifying and really getting your priorities right, creating boundaries in your life so you can honor what's most important. After simplicity, then we move into trust. And trust is all about trusting yourself, trusting the universe, and trusting billions of years of evolution that we are in right now. And the great intelligence of our bodies and our ability to heal and our ability to trust that whatever we want in life is available to us. And so that's a powerful tool that you really get to dive into. After trust, we move into freedom. And that's one of my favorite ones as well, because it's all about inner freedom to start with. And inner freedom is about those loving feelings, expansion inside your being. And then we move into outer freedom. Once we feel free inside, then we can make the things on the outside happen in a more graceful, enjoyable way. And we can actually manifest a lot more quickly as a result of having that inner freedom. So freedom is a great level in that particular training. After that, we move into love. And love is really the medicine of the whole experience. And in this particular level, I invite you to bring love to it all. Not just the romantic kind of love, but really accepting reality exactly as it is. And letting go of our resistance to people, places, and things, and accepting reality so that we can actually experience a larger flow of love in our life. And after love, we move into celebration, and celebration with our community, sharing this method with the world, helping others step into their mastery, and creating community around this practice. So it's a really beautiful journey. You're going to dive in deep. You're going to be supported every step of the way. You'll have your own practices. And at the end of this whole experience, you are going to know how to move through any challenge that arises.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I love the way you broke it down. What you will see is directly below this masterclass video. As a thank you for watching this class, we've unlocked an enrollment page for you and unlocked a special price. You get a special discount because you've spent this much time with us right now going through that experience. Scroll down, read about the program, and enroll in our class. Now, one of the best things about this is the sheer results that people get when they study with Jennifer. Think about where you are in your life right now. Now, if you showed up for this class, odds are there is something that you are looking to shift, to mold. There's an energy that you're looking to bring into your life. And odds are there is a block or a past trauma or a past memory or a subconscious issue that is still with you. I've had that too. And tapping helps you release that. It helps you master yourself and your life. So you can choose to go back to the way you've always been, or you can choose to evolve, to release things that are holding you back, to break whatever ceilings might be above you through this 28-day journey. Now, I know what you're thinking. You may have doubts. Will this work for me? Well, the good news is this. One of the things that we do in Mindvalley is whenever we create a program, our commitment is to create the best program of its type in the world, which means we are promising you that this is the best way to learn tapping in the world. One thing about our Mindvalley programs, you don't have to make up your mind right now. You can enroll in this program, test it out, and anytime in the next 15 days, with one click, cancel your purchase and get a full unconditional refund. All you have to do is click on your account page on the Mindvalley platform, click on the refund button, and that's it. You are never obligated to buy a program. You can test it out, You can see the video. You can even go through practically half the program because you can give yourself a refund in 15 days with one click. So you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Now, if you are buying a house or buying a car, you would obviously test drive things, right? I encourage you to do the same here. Scroll down below, click enroll so you can take advantage of the enrollment discount. Explore the program as much as you want in the next 15 days. Cancel and get your refund. You can apply your refund to another Mindvalley program, or you can just keep it. All the information is on mindvalley.com/refund. By the way, if you look at the pricing for this program, you will see why the vast majority choose to become a member rather than buy an individual program. Just a few $100s extra. But you don't just get one program, you get over 50 programs on Mindvalley instantly available for you. You can go through a new program every month or do 2 programs in a month and up-level yourself in 24 unique areas of life in the coming year. But that's not all. Membership also means that you get access to Mindvalley live events with so many special guests.
What's happening here?
You're on our private social network. You're in a network of fellow members, and these are such incredible individuals. And we have memberships now in every country in the world. So Jennifer explained the program to you. I want to explain what the curriculum does. When you enroll in this program, there are 8 things, 8 outcomes that you get as a student. And these 8 outcomes come to you in massive ways over 28 days. And remember, it's not hours a day. It's literally 5 to 20 minutes a day. That is the principle of the Mindvalley Quest platform. Micro slice learning, tiny slices that transforms you. Now, the first benefit you get is you learn to master your emotions. You become non-reactive. You master your emotions to such a degree that, have you ever seen the Karate Kid movie? There's this character called Mr. Miyagi. No matter what's going on in the world, Miyagi is the wise sensei. That is mastery of emotion. Number 2, you learn to upgrade your beliefs. This means if you have limiting beliefs, you upgrade that to beliefs where you are limitless. Third, you learn greater self-love. You would have noticed little mentions of self-love, but you truly learn to love and love yourself. Now, many of you who are maybe feeling that you need to be in a relationship, like you need someone to love you, when you learn self-love, the neediness disappears. And as a result, often the person that you're waiting for appears in your life. Number 4, you learn an awareness of your energy body. This is where your understanding of meridian lines of your energy body comes into play. This is really what is the root cause of tapping in the first place. You are manipulating your energy body. Number 5, you learn how to clean up shadows that may have come from trauma in the past. You deal with shit that you have swept under a rug and have been carrying with you and has been affecting you in multiple ways. You clean that up. Ken Wilber, the great philosopher, calls this cleaning up, and he says it is one of the principles of a highly evolved human being. They clean up the messes that happened in the past. Tapping helps you get there. Number 6, you learn to connect with a higher power, with your higher self. Number 7, you enhance your intuitive ability. When you go into tapping, one of the things that happens is that you find that you're more in tune with your inner guidance. And number 8, you massively boost your levels of happiness. I mean, look at Jennifer, like she never stops smiling. Look at her students. So what is life like if you could just elevate your happiness levels by 20, 30% permanently? And that's really what this program delivers to all our students, these 8 outcomes. Now, one of the other things which I'm really excited about is that the class that's about to start right now is our biggest class of the year because we just announced this to our audience. We're expecting over 5,000 people in this class. We call it the class of the year. And because 5,000 people are enrolling on this class and the start date is below, we're giving away special bonuses. But you must enroll today to get in the class. There is a deadline because the class doors shut when the class begins. Now, by being part of our super class, here's what happens. You're in a community of thousands of people. That's the first big advantage. But then you also get Jennifer Live. It's not just recordings. Any other class you sign up for in the future is going to be recordings. This one is Jennifer Live. She's going to be coming on every week over these 28 days to answer questions, to bring our students together. And at the end, there's going to be a massive freaking graduation party, which is so much fun. So thank you guys for being with us. Scroll down below and be sure to enroll in the class. Don't put this off, because think about what you could be missing. The biggest mistake you could make today is to decide, oh, let me think about this, or maybe I'll do it another time. There is no other time. The class of the year is starting soon. The discount is on this page, and emotional mastery is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. So I will feel guilty if you go back to your old life and don't commit today. And again, to make it easy for you, I'm not asking you to even commit. I'm just asking you to say maybe, to click enroll, try it out for 15 days, click the auto refund button, the one-click refund, if anything at all isn't right for you. Let me share with you some case studies. The first case study is from Anita Griffith. This study blew me away, right? Because when Anita Griffith started working with Jennifer and on tapping, this lady had lost the ability to use her legs. And she started to learn to walk again. For instance, one of the things that immediately happened that she said is that she no longer needed an electric hoist to get her from her bed to a wheelchair. Mobility started to return. This is why I stress that emotions have such a powerful impact on health. Then there's the actress Patricia Sill. You might remember her from television shows like California in 1993. And Patricia used Jennifer's techniques to help her regain her direction in life. This is an example of nurturing your emotions so that you can restart your life, restart your career, find deeper passion and meaning. Then there's Gertrice. And this case study is beautiful because it's about self-love and trusting yourself. After studying with Jennifer, Gertrice said, my whole world changed, but my vibration elevated, my consciousness extended, and the opportunities that probably were always there for me that I weren't seeing before, all of a sudden popped into my existence. All of these you will read about on our website. But I stress them because I want you to know how powerful this tool is, because there's a tendency to underestimate things that can have a profound impact on our life. Think about how much or how often doctors prescribe you medication, right? Now, nothing wrong with that. The average American spends $3,000 to $4,000 a year on medication, sometimes hundreds of dollars on pills made to make you feel better. But science is showing that a technique like tapping can instantly create that, and it doesn't cost anything once you learn it. Why is it that we don't learn about tapping? Because the pharmaceutical lobby in Washington is massive. The tapping lobby, really tiny. And so what you'll find is that some of the most powerful tools at your disposal you don't hear about because Big Pharma hasn't gotten their grubby little hands on it. But when you learn these tools, you gain powers that you never knew you had. When you learn these tools, these become part of your day-to-day. You live as Rumi advises you to live. When a negative thought, actually scratch that. We shouldn't even label these negative. When a less than desirable thought or emotion flows within you, you're able to embrace it, support it, heal it, learn from it, and move back to the state that you were born in, pure bliss. Angela said, after tapping with Jennifer, and she specified, I loved her energy and the instant community I got. I felt like I was at home. It became my second family. And I hope that you experience this too. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you all of you for joining. All I want you to do is scroll down below, click enroll, and I'll see you in Mindvalley.
Thank you, Vishen. It's been beautiful connecting today. Look forward to seeing everyone.